So let's just start by saying and spelling your name, please.
Okay, my name is Bob Pierce, and the last name is Pierce.
Army?
I was Army, spent time in every conflict we've been involved in since Panama.
Okay, when did you enlist?
I enlisted in 1983 out of my hometown of St. Peters, Missouri.
Okay.
Left for boot camp in August of '83. I graduated in June. Do not recommend going to Fort Benning, Georgia in August. It's a little warm, humid, and
But required if you need that MOS.
it's required if you want to be infantry. Yes, it
Yes, it
is.
is.
You have to learn to embrace the suck, is what we always say. So you know that. So,
Yeah, I do, unfortunately. But so '83, your first overseas tour, did you say was in Panama?
yeah, the Panama invasion, Operation Just Cause.
I think you're the first veteran I've ever met from that.
Well, it
I
was
mean
just
that.
because we wanted to go get Manuel Noriega
Yeah,
and put him in prison over here in, what is it, Marion, Illinois?
yeah,
I think he's still in the cellar.
the Supermax. Jeez, so
Good
what?
place for him.
So what did that look like? Talk to me about Panama. That's incredible.
My job, I was there with the Ranger Battalion. I was to sit on a hillside overlooking one of the presidential palaces.
First, second, or third bat?
I was with 3rd Bat.
Third bat. Okay.
And they decided that they were going to have us sit there and then go off to our sides and set up these great big trucks with these speaker systems on them.
Yeah.
And I used to really love listening to Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath until then, because that's what they blasted at that presidential mansion for 36 hours straight while we were sitting there waiting for him to come out. And then we could either let a team go in and grab him if he ran.
Yeah.
We were to stop him.
All Rangers, or was that like a PSYOP
It was
team
all
there with you?
Rangers. PSYOPs were there with the
Yeah,
speaker
speakers,
systems.
yeah.
But they were back to our sides and behind us. So we had to listen to it at 2,000 decibels also. And it kind of made me not want to listen to Ozzy Osbourne or Black Sabbath for a while.
I understand.
It was a lot of, there were some tense moments though, because there was, the Panamanian Defense Force was out trying to figure out how to stop these speakers.
Yeah.
Even though we weren't lucky enough to be on the palace that Noriega was at, but it was, anytime you go into a situation like that, you've got that tension of, is this going to go right?
And this is your first.
That was my first deployment, yes.
How old were you?
Let's see, I would have been 24.
24? And you were an NCO then, you were probably
I was an E5.
E5, so you were, okay.
It was me and another guy. We were a scout sniper team. Just go out, sneak around, find something, report it, stop it.
Yeah.
It was just our job. We didn't know any better. Just go play.
And then how many years training between that and your next deployment?
The next deployment was in Desert Storm. So it was, what,
91?
91.
Okay.
So what, 4 years, 3.5, 4 years. And then we went there. I was in Desert Storm with the 101st. We were part of the great big left hook.
Mm-hmm.
I was with 2nd Battalion, 502nd Infantry out of the 101st Infantry Division.
So you were in the back end of the shock and awe campaign. You came in right after that.
We were on the border when the shock and awe campaign began.
What did that visually look like? Like with the sky I've only seen on CNN.
It was like watching your 4th of July display from 2 miles away. You could see the bright glows and that, and
Yeah.
watching the aircraft and everything flying overhead.
First time all the stealth came out to be used.
First time we had stealth, first time we had GPS.
Mm-hmm.
We're all going, be honest with you, we said, we don't trust this crap. We kept our paper map in our hand and on our compass, and we found our way where we needed to go, make sure that GPS was putting us on the right spot.
That's what Rangers do.
Well, I was with the 101st at that time. But yeah, we didn't trust it because we never used it.
Yeah.
So it was a whole new world to us. Still found out that the PRC 77s wouldn't work past that sand dune you can see in front of you.
Yeah.
Communications they sucked.
It was probably about 10 years till the daggers and stuff came out.
Yeah, probably a little longer than that. But
yeah.
The thing was, is we had an Air Force liaison with us, so if we needed air support, they could talk to anybody. And they had a radio that wasn't much bigger than these 2 water bottles put together, with an antenna that just folded out that was about 3 foot long, and we got a 7 foot long antenna on our radios, and they're going, hey, USS Nimitz, we need flight now.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here, can't talk to each other a mile away because our radios were so terrible, but these guys could talk.
Who is his name? Do you remember your JTAC's name?
Not off the top of my head, man. We got, every time we'd stop and regroup, we'd get a new one.
Yeah.
They'd switch guys out because they said, oh, it's too much stress on them to be out front all the time. But
Yeah. Yeah.
what about us?
You're a grunt.
Well, we were part of the division or the brigade's scout team. We went out, set up for the helicopters to come in. We'd secure a landing zone. But that was our job, so we didn't know any better. We just did it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're going out 30 miles ahead of everybody else. Good luck. Secure us a landing zone, and we'll be there in an hour.
Did you see action?
Oh yeah, we saw plenty of it. The Air Force dropped us off 3 miles farther in than they were supposed to.
Helicopter or
Yeah.
Okay.
Put us in a spot that when we came up over the sand dune, there was a bunker complex in front of us, and we backed down, and I said, hey, Flyboy, get on your radio. We need some fast movers here fast.
What, they set you on an Iraqi bunker?
Just on the backside of a sand dune from them.
Holy
When we climbed up over the thing, they were right there. F-15s took care of it, though.
Yeah.
We didn't have to play with them. And, you know, so 100 hours after we moved into Iraq, we were moving back to Saudi Arabia. And even though we moved back that quick, it still took them 2.5 months to send us back home.
Yeah.
And then things calmed down for a little while until I got sent back to the Ranger Bat shortly after that. And I wound up going to Somalia. And
Working for the Navy?
no, still in the Army.
But working for the JSOC or who?
Yeah, we went in for
Gotcha. I gotcha.
trying to calm everything down and snatch up a few of the bad warlords, and
I know exactly what mission you're talking about.
that's when everybody's seen the movie Black Hawk Down. We were trying to help another country reestablish a government because they didn't have anything but, you know, you controlled the east side of the city, I controlled the west, and somebody over there controlled the north side. Well, we were all fighting with each other and not worried about all the people in the middle over who was going to take control.
Yeah.
And it was a bad situation all the way around.
Where were you in your career now? You're about 15,
I was
20 years in.
No, not quite yet. It was about 12.
12? So you're a
11,
senior
12.
NCO now, probably started first class?
I was at E6 at that point.
Okay.
You know, just sometimes you make rank really quick getting to a certain point, and then you kind of pump the brakes because there's not as many spots for E7s as there are E6s. And
Right. But you got men under you and women,
yeah.
and you have people that you're responsible for.
I had a squad underneath of me. When our platoon sergeant decided to retire, they put me in an E7 slot as an E6. And then once promotion boards came around and I finished another school, I got promoted to E7 a couple years after that. Went into Bosnia and Kosovo during the peacekeeping time there. And then shortly after that, I got back out, went to be a drill instructor down at Fort Leonard Wood for a couple years. And then 9/11 happened, and I made one deployment while still on active duty. Came home, I was given a choice: retirement packet here because I'd reached my 20, re-enlistment packet here. If I'd listened to myself, I would have done this one and stayed in longer, but I took the retirement because the gal that is now my ex-wife had given me a choice: either retire or get divorced. So if you sign that re-enlistment packet, you can sign the divorce papers too. About 6 months after I got out, she handed me the divorce papers anyway and said, I'm gone.
That's a shame.
Not a big deal because I met the gal I'm married to now, and we got 2 great kids and we got 3 grandkids. So.
And you can't wait to take the little one hunting. She already knows how to blow the the duck call.
Yep. Well, she's learning.
Yeah.
She's trying. I joined the National Guard and didn't do too many deployments with them, but I did do one more that I went back to Afghanistan. And
Wait, back when were you in Afghanistan the first time? I think I missed that one.
in '03,
Okay, before you're still active duty.
before I retired, I came back and then went to Iraq once with the National Guard, with Missouri National Guard.
Okay.
And I was in charge of a transportation company at that time, and we ran supplies between Kuwait and different bases in southern Iraq. There was no real threat at that point.
Yeah.
Then when I went back over into Afghanistan in 2011, I was a very senior NCO.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't supposed to be going out on missions. I guaranteed my wife I was perfectly safe. I was supposed to sit in the rear with the gear, make sure you got all your beans, your bullets, your bottled water when you went out on a convoy security mission.
Yeah. Were you a first sergeant or?
I was an E9, but I was in a first sergeant's position.
Okay.
Showed up at your truck one day and they said, "Hey, you got all your beans, your bullets, your bottled water?" Right as the truck commander said yes, the gunner threw up all over the top of the truck. Me being the guy I am, I threw in my keys to my gator, told him to go get my go bag, bring it back to me, go to sit call. Then me and you played rock, paper, rank over who was going to be the gunner.
Yeah.
I'm a grunt, you're a truck driver.
Yeah.
Guess who's going to operate the Mark 19?
Yeah.
4 days later, coming back in, we ran over a big IED trying to help our scout truck, and I woke up and launched Old Germany. And they told me 3 years later, they said, "We broke you too much, Pierce. You don't play well with others. Will you take your ball and go home? We're retiring you." And so I took my retirement again.
You would still be serving right now if you could?
If I hadn't gotten hurt as badly as I did, yeah, I'd probably still be in the National Guard. It's just part of who I am. You know, now I use my experience in the military to try to help other veterans and try to make people realize, you know, that there's guys out there that still need help.
There are a lot of people out there that need help. So many veterans.
Mm-hmm. And I'm a big advocate for joining veterans groups that you're comfortable with, that you can fit in with, and seeking out help, because the VA's got a ton of help there. But the biggest problem I have are people telling me that they don't have anything to offer me. Well, have you gone there and tried to see what kind of help you can get from them? And they're like, "No, I'm not wasting my time." Well, if you don't advocate for yourself, I can't help you. I can't make you go do it. I can't get them to call you. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you to go to talk to the guys at the American Legion or the VFW. You've got to do something for yourself.
Yeah.
And we've got there's all kinds of veterans organizations and people that want to help.
Was you being blown up the genesis for this? Is this something maybe that they can't connect with because they haven't been in your shoes?
No, because I've got guys that served with me there that were hurt.
Yeah.
And they either one, feel guilty about going, they feel out of place, or they don't trust them. And me being hurt like I was is a huge part of why I try to get guys to go seek the help they need. Join groups, even if you don't want to join a veterans group that does outdoor activities. There's a lot of groups that do, you know, weightlifting or just
art therapy, equine
therapy. There's another good one. You know, if you're not a guy that likes to hunt, but you like to fish, there's 2 groups out there that I know of that are fly fishing groups that will teach you how to tie your own flies, build your own fly rods, go out on trips to do fly fishing, even if it's just to one of the local lakes that they stock with trout in the wintertime.
Yeah.
They take guys out and say, "Hey, let's go. I'm going. Who wants to go with me? Who wants to join me?" And just being out there in nature or in the gym or on a horseback or, drawing a picture.
So veterans connecting with veterans, doing something positive.
Doing something very
Big
positive.
healing in nature. I agree.
Yes.
100%.
I've gone out, I'd take guys out duck hunting occasionally. I'll go out and do nothing but call. I won't even take my shotgun because just being there and watching you and the other two guys that are with me in the blind, being able to just experience each other and talk. And you know how veterans are.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk more trash about each other or the other branches of the service,
Mm-hmm.
but we still make it fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go out there and not even take my gun, just let the other guys shoot, and I'll sit back and just absorb Mother Nature.
Bring a camera or something and give them photos as keepsakes.
I've got a Tacticam that I set up on a tripod on the shelf and try to capture as much of the trip as I can.
Yeah.
I've got a little camera I'll set up in the corner of the blind that a lot of times I can't share that because you know how veterans are. Our language will get out of control sometimes and the jokes can get kind of raunchy.
Yeah, I appreciate that not being shared if I were there too.
So we kind of edit through some of that, take some pictures off of the video, especially if I've got a guy that's sitting there with a great big huge smile on his face holding the duck and it's the first duck he's ever shot.
Yeah.
I won't let the rest of the background noise be in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can imagine.
I can imagine. I can imagine. So if you don't mind, the day your day in Afghanistan after coming back for 4 days, hitting the massive IED, was that your first time injured?
No,
you had been in combat.
I'd been in combat before. I was shot once in my first tour in Afghanistan. It was a through and through.
Afghanistan is bad luck to you. Everywhere else is good.
Well, sometimes you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
It was a through and through. That's where I said, hey, I dumped some quick clot on it. I said it'll either clot up or...
Where at on your body?
It was through my upper shoulder, chest here, down through this big, chunky, fatty muscle here. It's more fat now than it was.
From the rooftop?
Or, yeah.
Okay.
Or hillside.
Okay.
Everybody was freaking out, wanting to call medevac, and I just...
What was the situation around it? What was your mission?
We were trying to get into and clear a village.
Okay.
That we knew there were Taliban in.
What part of Afghanistan?
It was just outside of Kabul.
Okay.
The capital.
Okay, yeah.
And we were trying, because that's where we started chasing them from. And
down past all of the fobs down there, like White Horse and where they leave the city?
No, we hadn't even made it that far. We were still on the very outskirts of the city. There were no fobs down there at this time.
Kaya? By the airport?
Just a little bit south of the airport.
Okay.
We were down, I'm trying to remember the name of the pass, the hillside.
Yeah, it leads to Pakistan.
Well, it goes over to Jalalabad.
Yeah, okay.
I can't remember the name of that highway there. One of my injuries from the IED blast was a pretty significant TBI.
Okay.
So some of my memories, sometimes I joke, and a lot of other vets will understand this. I can shake my head just right, and it's like an Etch-a-Sketch. It clears it all off, and I start new with new memories.
I understand. I've had a couple of those myself, and I can imagine the paths you're talking about. I even know where it goes, and I know where it leads, and I know how contested it's been for thousands of years in that region. Yeah, I just can't remember the name of it.
It was one of those things that, Genghis Khan is the one that found that pass coming through.
Pass, yeah.
And that's how he conquered that part of the world so quickly, because nobody thought that they could come through that part of the Himalayan mountain range and get any farther west. And he's the one we got to blame for having that pass through there now.
That it leads to in Pakistan, that valley is called the Swat Valley, but I just can't remember the Afghan side.
I can't either. And it's terrible because I spent enough time going back and forth between Kabul and Jalalabad that I should have that tattooed on my eyelids by now.
Yeah.
But
you remember it well in your sleep, I bet.
I can still see it right now. I can see the whole valley through there, the whole pass, the river, most beautiful part of Afghanistan I was ever in. But I just can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. It'll come to me later and I'll text you. But
it'll come to me when I'm driving home, and I'll give myself that palm to my forehead and go, "You dummy."
Yeah.
But it was that day. I don't remember anything past
What were you doing
flash.
in JBAD? Was that a resupply, or why were you headed there?
We were just escorting trucks
Okay.
up and down the highway to go there.
Oh, the big personal carrier, the big.
No, we were escorting anything that the U.S. military didn't haul. So
Okay.
it was everything but mail and ammunition.
Okay.
They would have food supplies. They would have, they would take our trucks, the Max Pros and the Humvees and everything that was getting shuffled from one base to another, or come into Bagram, and we would escort it down to Jalalabad, or to, Fob Warrior, or to,
Camp Eggers or wherever.
yeah, just, Syakabad or whatever, Sheikhabad.
Yeah.
There was a fob there that we took several trucks to, and a bunch of trucks and stuff and supplies down to Ghazni. And, that whole area there, the Wardak province, that place was a problem child there. We could never seem to get control of it, no how hard we tried.
What year was that?
In 2011.
Oh, the Polish were in that region just before
Yes.
then. Yes.
But we couldn't.
That's why I know it so well. I've worked with those guys.
I found out after I got back home that a week to the day after I was hurt, they the helicopter that had a bunch of special forces guys in it was shot down less than a mile from where I was blown up at.
The Chinook with all 12 of them on board? Oh, man.
And
That was 2000. You only remember that really well.
It was my commander had asked me at one time, how do we stop this there? And I said, I tell you what, sir, it's real easy. You pick up that bat phone and you call Diego Garcia and call in an old Vietnam-style arc light mission on there and moon crater that whole province. We won't have a problem there anymore. And he goes, well, we can't do it that way anymore.
Yeah, I suspect we'd have different problems if we just blew it all to oblivion. I suspect we wouldn't get away with that.
Hey, potato. You've got a different perspective on it when you're there than a politician sitting in D.C. going,
Absolutely.
We can't do that.
Absolutely.
We've got to be kinder and gentler. Well, if you want to be kinder and gentler, don't send your military in there to fix a problem. Because what happens is when you start imposing all these other rules on your military beyond what we've already agreed to in the Geneva Conventions and the other stuff, you're causing more of your people to get hurt, and you're not fixing a problem.
I see what you mean.
My whole thing with it too is, if you're going to release the dogs of war, let them do their job and win the war, and then go back in and rebuild. I mean, the guys that took out the towers, they didn't care. They didn't care how many. Yeah. Nobody cared how many people got hurt there.
No.
Other than military people. They were targeting our civilian population.
Of course, yeah.
And the same thing when they tried to blow them up with the truck bomb the first time.
The plane that went down in Pennsylvania, or that the heroes took down in Pennsylvania, was, I think, intended for somewhere else. And
yeah, they said they believe it was either the Capitol or the White House, that's where they were intending to go to, from debriefings and stuff that they found, top secret squirrel stuff that we'll never hear about as a general public and know if it's true or not.
Yeah. So all of those lessons.
I missed the country we had.
What would you do? What would you do here to get us back there? That's where I was going next anyway. I was going to ask you if all the lessons you've learned, how can you apply that now?
I don't know if we can get back there without another incident like that, because our country is so divided over politics that it's going to take, I hate to say it, but it's going to take one of two things. Either another incident, and hopefully it's nowhere near as bad as 9/11, because I missed the country we were on 9/12.
I can agree. I think most people who remember that.
It's either going to take something like that, or it's going to take a change in our political views in this country, which I don't know if it'll ever happen peacefully.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a strong leader. I mean, a rock solid leader that everybody can get behind. And I don't know if there's a leader out there, from what I've seen, the way our political side is right now, because those two sides are so much at each other. They
Yeah.
keep the whole general country at each other. You know, you can't say something to someone anymore without somebody having to jump in and, you know, tell you you're wrong. And, you know, I'm the guy that says we're all Americans.
Yeah.
Why can't we act like that?
So the IED didn't ask me first. Well, I had an RPG fly by and it slowed down. I remember this clearly. It said, "Hey buddy, are you a Democrat or Republican?" And I was like,
Hey, that IED didn't
"What's
ask
the
me.
right answer?" It didn't ask. It asked
No,
me.
it didn't ask me.
Oh man. Okay.
It just said, all four of you guys in this truck are Americans,
gone.
and we're
Yeah.
gonna.
Yeah. So
We're
why,
gonna
as
let you-
Americans, can we not do that? Is what I. That's what I think.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I have political views that don't always align with. I don't even want to disclose as a nonprofit. I can't, but with what you're saying, but I can't.
I won't disclose my political
Fellow
views
Americans,
either.
fellow Americans all around.
We all have to remember that flag that's up there, that red, white, and blue, that's flown over this country for 250 years.
Yeah.
We all need to remember that this is our home. Why do we want to argue and fight with each other to make it worse? And, you know, our Constitution says in pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
Why can't we go back to that and just be happy? Be happy that we're here. Be happy that we have the freedoms we do to do the things we do, and enjoy every day that we have here for the loss that our military and our police and our firefighters and everybody else have put out there to keep this a safe country to live in without arguing about it.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen parts of this world that if you kill somebody, they hang you in the middle of a town square in front of God and everybody. If you steal something, there's no time in jail. They just put your hand on a chopping block and chop your hand off.
Yeah.
If you sexually assault somebody, they make sure that you don't do that again. They don't necessarily kill you, but
Oh, I've seen one killed for that. I've seen a victim killed for that.
I've seen a victim killed for that also. But I've also seen them take the guy's manhood and lay it on a chopping block.
I would have loved to have seen that, but I've never seen that.
But then they turned around and stoned the victim to death.
I've seen that.
You know, we don't have that kind of brutal
No.
punishment here.
Are you saying if we stone people to death, we'll be a better country?
No,
I
I'm
don't
not
think
saying
that's a
that
far
at all.
cry.
I'm just saying the American people don't understand that we don't resort to that
They don't
brutality.
understand how good they have it here.
You
They
know,
don't. Yeah.
you might steal something and go to jail for a year or two and learn a lesson from it, or you don't. You go back out and do it again, but they're not going to chop your hand off for it here.
No.
For the people that think this country is so terrible, go to Iraq and steal something.
Yeah.
Steal a loaf of bread off of a cart in the middle of the town square at the farmer's market.
I agree. Yeah. We both know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And it's not so bad here.
No.
We have a justice system that's there for a reason. We have laws for a reason. You can't just run amok.
We have hands down the best country this world, this planet has ever seen.
By far, because I've seen a lot of countries that I've checked off my to-do list. I'm not taking my family there for vacation. I've seen other countries that the countryside is beautiful, but you just can't go there because you just don't want to take the chance. And, you know, there's some countries, they believe if you're an American and you show up in their country and they rob you blind, take everything you've got except for the clothes off your back, and even that's optional, that it's your fault for being an American and being in their country. And that's not always in just the Middle East. That's some places in Central America and even places in Europe that...
In my heart, like you, I would love to fix the problems in Europe. I would love to fix a lot of problems, but I can only right now wrap my head around here and now, and I agree with you. Someone who's been wounded twice, took a bullet for his country, has been blown up for his country. You want the people to stop arguing and love this country as much as you did.
Exactly. And I'm not saying they got to go get blown up or shot for it.
No.
Just stand up for who they are and what we're all about here and love our country.
Do you mind telling our 77,000 followers that very thing?
You don't have to love the people around you. Just love this country the way you should. You don't have to believe in everything that you hear, and you don't have to take a bullet or get blown up. You can be a great American without doing that.
And if I could piggyback on what he said, he's done it. I have done it. There's so many have already taken these bullets on your behalf. So just take it with a smile and love the country you're from. Is that all right for me to piggyback on you?
That's perfect.
Because this is the best country to be born, hands down, in the world. And I've seen so many, and so has we have seen so many.
There's a lot worse out there, I can tell you that.
Yes, sir.
And we don't want to become that.
Thank you for driving an hour to tell us that. And thank you for carrying on this fight and keeping... You want to talk to him about Bonfire really quick? That sounds like a powerful organization. Anyone with a Purple Heart can join, I believe?
Yes, it's a Purple Heart organization called the Warrior Bonfire Project. Purple Heart recipients are allowed to join it. It is a wonderful experience if you can go and join a retreat that they have. They have hunting, they have fishing, they have couples retreats. They have a spouses retreat that, you know, your significant other can go to, and they would be there with other spouses and get a chance to tell their story on, you know, what it was like dealing with us when we came back and get that off their chest. They have couples retreats that they take people on. They'll do one in Puerto Rico. They did one this year just up in Grafton. I played shuttle bus driver and drove the couples from the airport up to Grafton. They stayed at the winery up on the hill. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah. And it's the one with the big gondola lift that goes up. And
I'm not local. I'm not sure. We drove here to interview you.
They it just gave them a chance to go out, and then they went to a water park. They went out on the river for a day, took a boat cruise up and down the Mississippi River, and just got to interact with each other, got to do shopping and little craft stores and woodworking shops all up and down the Great River Road.
That's amazing.
For a weekend as a couple. Just no pressure, nobody around, just go. They do one in Colorado where they'll do a couples whitewater rafting deal. I mean, and the bonfire program, and I'm not taking anything away from any other group, but they make the veterans take themselves to a point as far as they can push them to being comfortable with what they do to get that weight off of them and let it go with other Purple Heart vets that understand.
In effort to stop the 22, in effort to reduce the suicide.
We got to get that number down. That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And I'm going to go on a little bit of a
please do
tangent here. I'm going to get on my soapbox for a minute.
Please do.
If you're a veteran and you're out there listening to this and you need help, there is help out there. You need to reach out to someone. If you don't want to call 988, reach out to your local veterans organizations like your VFW, your American Legions. These people, your AMVETs, they will find you help through the VA or through local doctors that want to help. We've got to stop this 22 a day. I'm losing more brothers and sisters a day due to that than I did in combat. So please make it stop. Please, I'm begging you, as a fellow vet, please stop. If you need help, find someone. If you know someone that needs help, come on this podcast. I'm going to give him my personal cell phone number. If you contact him and say, I need to talk to somebody, call me. I will help. I can't lose another one of you guys because of this.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. I've been there, and I'm glad to be here now.
And I want to thank John for bringing me over here with the Jared Burke Foundation. They're another organization that I've been out with.
I'm not a big hugger, man, but I kind of want to hug you right now for that. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for letting me do it.
Yeah. What were you saying about the foundation? We haven't met yet. Hi, sir. How are you?
The Jared Burke Foundation got me out on a turkey hunting trip, and now I want to get out and start helping him with other vets and the youth that he gets out on their events.
I've heard about that. Angie was telling us all about that.
If he'll just let me help and put me to work and abuse me.
There's another Purple Heart organization that Angie and I are both a part of that meets in Dayton-ish, Ohio every year that you should be maybe consider going to as well.
And then I went out with another group called the Wounded Warriors in Action. Not the Wounded Warrior Project, but the Wounded Warriors in Action. They're another Purple Heart group only.
Really?
They're based out of Florida. I can't remember Colonel John's last name right off the top of my head. It'll be another one of those things. I'll be driving home and go,